If you guys were going to plan out how you build a country and how you give that country an advantage in terms of skills and economics sustainably for the long-term future, what do you think about doing? Well, my opinion is that you need to invest in things. You need to invest in your young people, you need to invest in your services and your goods so that people feel like they have something to work for, and you need to invest in your education system because, again, people need opportunities, and for most people that is still going to come from a traditional education and jobs that can come from that. Now, in a lot of countries around the world, especially a lot of what you may call richer nations, i.e. more expensive nations, it seems to be that is not what we're seeing so much anymore. Now, some, of course, are outliers, but let's talk about my experience here in the UK. Now, that video that I did where I spoke about why young people are leaving places like the UK and other countries did very well. And a lot of people said it's because they feel like the opportunities provided here are diminishing. Is it still a great place to live? Absolutely, I would not deny that for a second. But naturally, what we've seen in the past 10 years or so is a decline related to underfunding of numerous different resources. For example, here in the UK we have a free health service, which is a great privilege, but it's something that we've come to know, love, and say what we want about it, also expect. It's a privilege that's been implemented, but it's been so underfunded, it's been left on its knees. The potholes on the roads are atrocious. You need to pay all this money to get your car roadworthy, but then the roads are not car worthy. Things that I've seen even recently, like turning the street lights down at night, which, if you ask me, is one of the dumbest ideas I have ever heard. Talk about an environment that allows crime to flourish. But what I'm saying though is, that's the opposite of what you want, obviously, right? You want to help people with opportunities, not put things like university fees up to 60 or 70,000 pounds a year. You want to do the opposite of that. Let your people get more educated, let your people have better opportunities. That's basically common sense. And like I say, in a lot of countries around the world now, I'll use the UK as the example that I know, that is increasingly not the case because, again, we don't have as much as many privileges as we may have had 10 years ago. Now, is that still great? Yes. Is it still a privilege? Yes, that's why I said it. But it's important to consider this because what happens when opportunities are not present or go away? I think that's what we're seeing right now a lot here. For example, in terms of genuine productivity, the statistics haven't been looking good since the 2007-8 financial crash. And in terms of a lot of the young people that I know many that are doing very, very well, people my age, even myself. I have my own online businesses, more in the description. I also have a car that I bought all myself. I've never actually had a 9-to-5 job because I built my own businesses. Now that's me. I know people that work hard in shops, I know people that work hard in offices. But you would also be surprised at the amount of people that do not work hard, do not see any point in working hard, and do not have the opportunities. Now, of course, is there an element of laziness to this? Yes, there absolutely is. Even if you worked in a shop or a warehouse, you can still make some money and make something of yourself to a better extent than doing nothing. But what I'm saying is, you'd be surprised at the amount of people that do nothing or do not do very much. And what is the reason for this? Well, of course, some of them are just inherently and naturally lazy. But I think as a consequence of a lack of education, a lack of aspirations, and quite frankly, a lot of that comes down to a lack of potential or perceived opportunities. Now, is that necessarily the case? No, it's what people see it as. But like I said in the video that did very well on why people are leaving, when you give people less opportunity, what are they going to do? Well, as we're seeing, some of them, maybe even many of them, will move to somewhere where they feel like they can have the lifestyle that they want. I'm not here to talk about which countries that may or may not be in this video, but different things for different people, right? So some will do that. But others will play the game quite a lot less. And I think that's what we're seeing here now. Underfunding in many resources and many areas has created an environment where a lot of people haven't seen the fruit of their labour, and they don't see a point in really playing the game like they should. And again, like we spoke about at the start of this video, the best thing that you want to do, in my opinion, to give people and your country as a whole an advantage is to show them what can happen when they work hard. Take away that opportunity and watch how things fall to parts, really, because yes, it's obvious that not everyone's going to be an accountant, not everyone's going to be a lawyer, a solicitor, not everyone's going to be a doctor or some sort of highly skilled job. But even so, these jobs are really in the minority, right? It's the other people that keep society really running. The street sweepers, the road workers, the builders, the plumbers, the electricians, even people that work on tills and shops. These are the people that genuinely keep the world running. However, these people, or people who would traditionally find themselves in these roles, are those who are even less likely to bother to pursue them now. Because, again, unlike someone like some of the other high professions that we spoke about before, there's even less really to gain in a lot of these lower professions now than there even was in the past. And I think this is where we need to really consider things and consider the place that we're in and what this is going to look like for our future in many countries across the world. Now, of course, this has all been allowed to happen and has happened under numerous different governments around the world. Here in the UK is, of course, the Conservatives, who have ruled for quite a while now, and the consequences of their budget cutting measures, let's say, are being felt by, quite frankly, all of us. You know, you can be as rich as you like, but then you take your Rolls Royce down to some of these roads and you'll see how bad they are, and that's due to underfunding. You know, this is a spiral that we need to be careful not to get stuck in. But how we fight it is a very difficult question to answer. Of course, for a lot of people, the lifestyle that they want is going to revolve around having more money, but naturally there's only so long that you can work for. You know, you can't work all day. I think that's when we need to look into other streams of income and things like that, but even so, it's an interesting time, and perhaps it's the switching of how things work. You know, traditionally it's been people do a lot of jobs, then of course we had the Industrial Revolution, then even since then, maybe now we're having an AI revolution. Well, we are, naturally, definitely that's the case. But maybe one of the consequences of that is, I don't know, there's going to be less demand for workers, and that puts us in an even more precarious position, because then it's like, not only are wages low in a lot of jobs, there are less jobs to even offer, and then what do we do? I'm not too sure about the answer to that, and of course I'm definitely not qualified to answer something like that. But I think it's something worth considering, because it's just my views, right? Just my opinions, and I always say this in every episode because it is. But we need to question things that we see, that we experience, and that we do. And this is one of the more significant ones, if you ask me, because, well, it affects us all. And I don't think enough people really consider it. Because, you know, a productive nation is a great thing. It's a great thing for companies abroad to invest in. It drives more money to the country and stuff like that. But if we're seeing the opposite of that, that's not too good of a sign. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments. So, goodbye for now. See you.